Hi, I am Andrew, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Onexi plugin for VS Code. To install the plugin, just simply go to the extensions marketplace and search for Onexi. There you'll find a plugin, and you can click on the green button to install it. After then installing, you should reload the plugin to activate the extension. So within the plugin, you can see the details and contributions page for a rough idea of what the plugin does for you. So first off, let's talk about the settings. By configuring the settings, you can change the behavior of the plugin to suit your needs. For now, let's just go with the default values, which will initialize repositories from the Onexi account. So after you've installed the plugin, you'll notice that there are additional menu bar icons at the top right corner of the screen. These correspond to certain functionalities that the plugin provides. So let's just go ahead and use the login function. When you use it, the function would request your user ID, your GitHub email, and it will then ask you whether or not you would like to save your password on this computer. If you choose not to, then whenever a password is required, the function would then ask you to input it there and then. So let's say I do not want to save my password. You can see that I'm successfully logged in as, well, my username, and you can see this represented at the bottom left corner of the screen. So next, let's say I want to initialize a homework repo. So the initialize function lists all the repositories within the account that we have configured in the settings. Also, you get a choice to choose whether or not to filter these results based on certain categories which are also determined within the settings. So let's say I want to show all of them, and you can see all of the repositories within the Onexi account that are public. So let's say I want the homework in Canon, for example. And then later on, the function would request the user to input the path at where they would like to save their clone. So the default path is within the Onexi folder at the desktop. So let's just go ahead with the default. So since I've already cloned this folder previously, the function will ask if I would like to override it. So let's just go ahead and override it. And since I did not save my password, it would now require me to input my password. There you'll see that it's initializing repository. And once it's done, you also have the option of immediately opening the folder that you just cloned. So let's just go ahead and do that. And there you can see the repository is successfully cloned and properly initialized. So let's say right now I've done a bit of coding and I've changed this to testing code. And then I want to test my code. So to do that, you just simply click on this test code function. You can see on the bottom left corner, it's testing code. So please be patient, as the first time you're testing code, it would take exceptionally long because it has to install the proper modules for the testing. And for this homework, there just happen to be no tests available, and it's reflected in the results, which will be shown at the bottom of the screen under results. So once you're done with your code and you're happy with the results, you can submit the pull request to the GitHub simply by clicking submit. So since I haven't saved my password yet, once again, I'm required to input my password. So what submit does is that it would save all your changes, commit them to a fork, and then submit a pull request all in one go. And there, submission successful. So right now, if you go to the GitHub, you can see that within the homework Canon repository, I have successfully submitted a pull request. And so when I'm done, I can just log out, or I cannot, since I can simply choose not to, since I did not actually save my password. So our login, update, test, and submit, all of our functions are designed in a way that you can use them multiple times and it doesn't matter. So I can log in again even though I haven't logged out, and it doesn't matter. However, do take note that if you log in with a non-existent ID, well, you will not receive an error because currently VS Code does not have the functionality of determining whether or not the GitHub ID that you inputted exists. So let's just go ahead and not do that. So let's say I want to log in with my friend's ID. And I just put a filler email here. And let's say this time I want to save my password. There. So right now, I'm successfully logged in as my friend's account. So this time, when I want to initialize repositories, I want to initialize the binary, it no longer asks me for the password since I've already saved it. And so let's just go. And you can see it is properly initialized with my friend's user's ID instead. And so let's just go ahead and test it. Since I know that this exercise has a proper testing, so you can expect it to fail. And it can show you what it looked like when you fail. So you can see at the very top, you can see an overview of what you failed. You can see 0 passing, 10 failing. At the bottom, you can have a more in-depth review of what you failed. And that's it. So you also have an update function in case the professors or lecturers would like to update the homework or exercises after they uploaded it. So simply clicking on this would pull and synchronize the current exercise folders with what the professor or with the newest one that the professor has uploaded. And finally, we have the logout function, which basically just logs you out of the system, and you can see that I'm no longer logged in. And yeah, so that's it. So happy coding!